Hello and welcome to the 2020 North Umpqua Invitational. Welcome back if you're coming from the front nine. We have commentary from myself and Jared Gogol and coverage. Thank you to CH Sports for coming out and filming. Jared, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, DJ. I'm doing good. Just ready to get this commentary rolling. See what the middle nine has in store.
And after the front nine, we got Chandler sitting at 5 under par, Justin Anderson sitting at 2 under, Cole Redalen at 2 under, and myself at 2 under par as well. Hole 10, what are you doing on hole 10?
Pretty much what everyone else does. Try to throw a big hyzer around the corner and lay up for par. I mean, I know a lot of people with big arms can get around the corner and potentially get a 2, but I'm just throwing a big hyzer.
Yeah, and this day, as we see Chandler have a little trip there, this day we had a big crosswind right to left, so Ando is kind of the wind dummy there, and we saw his disc just bounce way left, and we'll see Chandler's do the same. And with this wind, it's really a gettable hole because if it's not windy, you can never get left enough. But right now, in these conditions out here with a little bit of wind, it's definitely reachable.
For sure. And as you see there, Cole throws the big spike hyzer and gets to about 29 feet.
Myself on the tee here. I watched all three of those guys, and they still held it out wide, and the disc pushed left. And I know it's so hard to ever get left on this hole, so I tried to hug it a little bit tighter and still get the left push, and I ended up getting it close to like 20 feet. Ando from about 40.
Oh, come on, baby.
Nice run, Peyton Manning.
Cole for his 2.
Still can tap out.
Ando tapping in for his par. And Chandler doing the same.
The fact that both of you guys can fit behind that tree is pretty impressive. I wouldn't be able to do that. They definitely need to get the COVID.
As we're moving into hole 11, we're kind of moving into the second tier of the course. Hole 5, you get into really what Whistler's is about, and then hole 11, you start going up the hill. And once you start going up the hill, the endurance of Whistler's Bend really starts coming into play, because hole 11 is 295 feet, but how far do you think hole 11 plays?
I think it plays about 460 feet uphill, but it's straight uphill. I mean, the video just does not do justice to what this hole is like. And that was a great forehand. You got underneath the tree branch, and you're sitting up there for easy par.
Yeah, and that's definitely the safe play, is to just try to blast a forehand as far up the hill as you can. To really get a 2, you got to throw a roller, and you got to get the disc super flat because you're going so high uphill, and Chandler just missed the angle there.
Yeah, the trick to the roller on this hole is the flippier you throw, the better, and you have to get the disc completely straight up and down vertical when it hits the hill.
Yeah, and that is definitely the play. As you see, Cole taking a tough roll away here, but he sat himself right in the middle. And as we're walking up this fairway, we're kind of just new. We're like, Cole's probably going to save par from here. Like, he's got a look, and the kid's got a cannon. And as you see, blasts it up the hill with a mid-range and puts it close.
Yeah, that was probably his flippy buzz that he likes to throw in a lot of those hyzer flip to turnover shots.
Yeah. As you see, Ando and Chandler throwing their up shots. And I was kind of trying to give that a run, but it was so far uphill that it was more of just a layup.
Could have shot that out of the sky.
As Chandler taps in his par. And Cole making a really good par after rolling down almost back down to the tee pad. So I tap in my par, and Ando will be tapping in his bogey there. And we're moving into hole 12 as we keep going up the hill. But this hole is an actual birdie hole, not an extreme bonus hole that hole 11 is.
Yeah, hole 12, I mean, you can throw pretty much a plethora of shots. You can go forehand, you can go thumber. I personally like to go flippy rock and just throw it flat and have it turn right.
Yeah, that's definitely the play. I'm throwing MD3 there. Just trying to throw it with a little bit of ante to straight and get a little ace run there, actually, with the catch cam. As Chandler just hits the tree there, and that's a real common play. That tree comes into the line with that branch hanging down right in the middle of the gap there, and as well as if you push it a little too far straight, as we see Ando do there. Chandler laying up for his par. Ando giving a little bit of a half-hearted run, but that should be an easy 3. Cole giving it a bid from deep.
Orange pants, baby.
Oh, yeah. Myself tapping in the 2 from about 25. Slowly closing the gap on Chandler.
Ooh. He almost got the Whistler's Bend bounce back right there.
On the old Mox.
Yeah.
That would be just about how Ando's round was going for him up to this point. He's had a lot of rollouts so far that, you know, don't always happen, but Whistlers can bring it out. As we move into hole 13, we're kind of on the edge of the hill here. Couple different plays. What are you doing here, Jared?
Honestly, it's I go back and forth every year. I either go flex forehand like Chandler's doing. Kind of flip into the hillside. So that's what I try to do every time.
Yeah, definitely a flex forehand up the left gap, or a little bit of the straight shot at the backhand, or even a forehand on the right gap that bounces it off there is definitely a good play. As that's what Ando is trying to do there, is he's just trying to play it into that hill, have the hill bounce the disc back to the left. And Chandler has so much touch, man. Really great player. As Cole throws a jump putt from a knee from probably about 200 feet for his upshot there. Pretty incredible how much spin that he was generating there.
Yeah, he's known for being able to spin putt from miles outside the circle. I mean, I played with him at a local tournament about a month ago, and he was just spinning putts from all over, from under trees, from over bushes, and we're talking distance away from the basket that I'm doing a full jump putt, and he's just standing still spinning the putter.
Wouldn't it be nice to be 6'3"?
Yeah, instead of 5'7.5" and 230.
So I was getting the solo bird there to get to 5 under par to tie myself back up with Chandler. Hole 14, pretty tough hole on the edge of the water here. Water doesn't really come into play, but it's a beautiful view.
There you go.
Great shot.
Nice shot, dude.
Thank you, thank you.
Great shot.
That
That's
was
kind
that
of what I
MD3
try to do.
again.
That's literally what I try to do. I just try to throw a rock or even a T-bird and just try to get it to just flip up straight with a little bit of push hyzer with it and just kind of land softly on the green.
Yeah, and this green's pretty forgiving. They keep the grass tall on the edges just to save some shots. And there's also a few trees surrounding the green that tend to help you out if you're coming in a little hot. Or if you're a little off, they'll knock you down and it'll hurt you. But if you're coming in on the right line, this is definitely a forgiving green.
A little bit of an early release there from Ando.
Wow, so awesome. Can't see it from this angle.
As we just see Whistler's beauty here.
The old
About 95
North Umpqua,
degrees.
baby.
At this point in the round, we're just looking forward to going in and floating that river. It's tempting you all day.
All day.
That was Cole from about 45. And with some short putt there into the cage. Chandler tapping in his 2.
Solid birdie. Turkey, turkey!
Yeah, putter's definitely coming off the hand well right now. Always feels good when they're going in.
For sure. Whatever, and you're really striving forward. I mean, it's once you get hot, it's really hard not to stop banging putts
Right.
all day.
It's crazy what mindset does in disc golf, and how sometimes if you're just not thinking about it, everything goes in. As we move into hole 15, one of the shortest holes on the course, plays about 220 feet probably, but it has a super tough green side hill here that, as you can see, is very tough to stick.
Never seen that play.
Chandler
That's the
kind of,
craziest line I've ever seen on that hole.
yeah, I was about to say that was a very unorthodox route, and Cole and Chandler played a practice round together the day prior, so they're throwing the same shot here, and it is not a route I've seen thrown on this hole, but as you can see, it's disc golf. Sometimes it works.
Yeah, I mean, that's this is one of the more traditional lines.
Hey, you got through the tree that time.
I don't throw the forehand because the way it hits into that hill most of the time it's just going to roll back down the hill. I'd rather throw a flippy putter in the hyzer gap and just throw it at like 55, 60% and have it match the grade of the hill.
Yeah, you really want to just try to land it almost on the flat, but not quite onto it, and that's the best way to really get it close on this one.
Ooh, Ando getting tough luck there.
Oh, Ando. And that's a tough one. That's a putt that if you're going to miss, sometimes you really don't want to hit the basket because rollouts on this dirt in the summertime is going to happen more times than not. Chandler cashed in his birdie after taking the middle line. That he was the first person I'd ever seen do that. And Cole with the sad bogey. We could take a screenshot of that there and make a meme out of it. Chandler and myself cash in the twos. Cole and Justin with the bogeys. Short hole, but as you can see, it can be a separator hole. Hole 16 moving back up the hill, the water tower hole. I'm throwing a champ T-bird here. And just early out of my hand into the ground.
I'm surprised more people don't go flex forehand on this hole.
Yeah, it is a really I see it done at least once on every card that I'm playing on for the most part, but it always seems that those shots tend to get a little bit closer than the backhands. It's hard to match the angle of the screen if you get it up there and keep it close. And it's also hard to get the elevation off of the tee, as we see Ando throw the flex here.
Yeah, to me, that's the shot. Because if you get it to flex and turn it all and have it fade, you're going to be looking at a more level playing surface with the putt.
Right. And putting a little bit downhill off of the road there where Ando's at isn't a bad putt. Kind of scary, but definitely in range. And Cole just low there for his birdie. Chandler lining up his two. Just low as well. Ando from the opposite side. And myself for the par from probably about 30 feet.
That's a great par save.
Oh, and Cole with a short miss there. Chandler tapping in his par. Ando with his par. And another sad bogey for Cole. That's frustrating.
Oh, for sure. It's Whistler's is one of those places where if you just don't quite have it that day, the wheels are going to fall off, and when they fall off, they're rolling very far away from you.
Yeah, that is correct. As we move into hole 17, one of the more iconic or the most iconic hole of the course here, the top of the world. hole is says it's 569, but it plays about 350. You can throw pretty much anything here. What are you doing?
I went the Infinite Disc Scott Withers Exodus off this hole, and I landed next to the basket both days, but took unfortunate 80-foot skips.
Yeah, and I threw the Infinite Disc Exodus as well, and had just a little bit of a crosswind and flipped the flight plate up a little bit and threw it out of bounds. But you see Chandler with throwing the little bit of a more traditional play with the fast disc, not the fairway driver that's super stable, and he puts it into the hill and gets it close.
Is that PD or PD2?
Ando given for what from above looked almost like a little bit of an ace run, but the ace run is going to be 100 to 150 feet past this basket.
Every time.
Just before the road.
As Cole pumped it out there. That's also a common mistake, is to throw it long and out of bounds. And Cole was lucky to stay inbounds there, but from up above, you don't even think that it comes into play really. But if you pump it out there, it's real easy to throw it out of bounds long. It's Ando laying up to take his 3. And this is going to be for my bogey here, after taking the OB stroke.
That's a tough putt. I mean, you're looking right at the basket from about 30 feet and some wind, and that's for bogey, and it's a butthole pucker for sure.
Yeah, I really felt that was a 4-6 putt that, if that hit the basket anywhere on the right side, like it was going down the hill. And then if I airballed it, it was probably still going to go down the hill. So that one felt good to cash in for sure.
Right.
As Chandler taking the really good birdie there, that's definitely a bonus on this course on the Ironman. Everything's a par 3. And as we move into the last hole of our middle 9 here, hole 18. What are you doing here, Jared?
Going with the Exodus again. It's in this wind. I just try to throw it on a little bit of a hyzer, and I want it to flip up with the wind and kind of get pushed over to the right, and hopefully have enough fade at the end of it so that I have at least a 30-footer.
Yeah, it's definitely the play. Some stable fairway to Thunderbird. You even see people throw fast drivers on this. Something that's going to do pretty much the S curve, and that's the best way to park this hole for sure.
Yep, every time. I guess you could go flex forehand, but it's pretty big, and not a lot of us have that forehand like 1% of the population does.
Right. You really got to have a cannon of a forehand to get this one there.
Yeah, mine kind of did the same thing, like that nose up into it. That angle though is looking so tasty.
Just held straight.
As Cole coming up a bit short left there.
Yeah.
And
On this tee shot,
I'm throwing the Exodus as well. What were you saying there?
on this tee shot, it's super important that you have the nose angle down out of your hand, because what happened to Cole was that it was nose up out of his hand and it just started lifting.
Yeah, and we have a right to left here. And so it kind of acts as a headwind sometimes, but you get that nose up, it's really going to go nose up. And you saw the opposite result was my flight plate just turned a little bit to the right towards the wind, and it just dropped it out of the sky. As Ando throwing his upshot and Cole throwing his upshot as well. Ooh, a little long there. This is my look for 2.
What would you say? It's about 50 feet?
Yeah, probably 45, 50. In the headwind.
Oh, headwind.
Didn't give it a very good effort there, the stroke. Cole for his par here from about 35. And just off to the right. And Chandler getting back-to-back birdies. Definitely 2 bonus birdies on 17 and 18.
So nice putting the disc catchers now.
That was Cole for his 4.
I think the downside to having such an amazing distance spin putt is that if you can't control it, you just ping pong putt quite a bit.
Yeah, that can be the hard thing is for him is to tone it down for sure. When he's not on, it's going to be a 30-foot comebacker every time.
Right.
As he taps in his 5, I'll tap in my 3. And with that, we are finished up with the middle 9. We're going to give a shout out to Jerry Miller and Disc Golf Depot up in Portland. He is servicing all the disc golf needs of the Portland area. If you need any discs, swing by or give him a ring and he'll set something aside for you. And also, look out coming soon for the Pac-West Classic. CH Sports came out and filmed the feature card, so that'll be coming out very soon. Thank you to CH Sports for coming out, and we'll catch you on the back 9.